I'm Quita Culpepper in Austin. Some Austin City Council members say they want more answers from Waymo after video shows one of the company's driverless cars blocking an ambulance on the night of the March 1st mass shooting on West 6th Street. In a letter, city officials asked Waymo representatives to meet with council committees to find solutions and avoid future incidents. Here's reporter Brianna Perez.
Moments after the 6th Street mass shooting on March 1st, first responders blocked by a Waymo. Days later, it's a sight that's still raising concerns.
God forbid if they were delayed by 5 seconds or 10 seconds or 30 seconds, like what would that have meant? So we want to make sure that that's not even a question, that we're always making sure that first responders have a clear access from point A to point B.
EMS officials say with how quickly medics responded overall, this didn't affect patient outcomes. But for one Austin resident, it was all too familiar.
We're going down a side street, and all of a sudden there's 2 fire trucks trying to get around a corner. My Waymo's blocking the street, and the fire trucks are honking at us.
Drew Mann says he was riding in a Waymo trying to get to downtown earlier that night. He says his delay lasted about 5 minutes.
I was worrisome. I'm like, didn't know what to do. If people's lives were in danger, the Waymo could be stopping people from, getting saved.
Councilmember Zoe Kadri says officials sent Waymo a letter outlining concerns and inviting them to collaborate during a public safety committee meeting in April.
Where we go from here, having better, practices and procedures in place, and then just having a good line of communication. I think communication is key.
In a statement, a Waymo spokesperson says they met with city representatives, EMS, and law enforcement officials Monday to discuss the incident, telling KVUE, quote, "Safety is fundamental to everything we do, and that means taking responsibility for our actions and always improving based on what we learn." Waymo leaders add they welcome the opportunity to have similar discussions with council members and their staff. In Austin, Brianna Perez, KVUE News.
A restaurant in downtown Austin is hosting a community run on Saturday to support those affected by the mass shooting on West 6th. The Beaufort's 5K fundraiser will start at 10 a.m. at Juliet Italian Kitchen on Barton Springs Road. Organizers say 100% of donations will go directly to victims and their families to help cover funeral costs, medical bills, and lost wages. That event will happen until 1 p.m. A man is facing an aggravated assault charge after an alleged unprovoked attack at Austin's Central Library. And the officer who stepped in to make the arrest was none other than Austin's police chief. Officials with Austin Police Department say a person was using a computer at the library when a man allegedly attacked them, hitting them in the head and stomping on it multiple times. Chief Lisa Davis was at the library for a community meeting at the time. Police say by the time other officers arrived, the chief had already detained the suspect, 30-year-old Daniel Vasquez. Authorities say the victim suffered life-threatening injuries. A library spokesperson says they're grateful for the quick response from first responders. Neighbors in North Round Rock are asking for more accountability from utility and government leaders. Late Wednesday night, they heard very loud sounds near their homes. Several people who live just north of Old Settlers Park called KVUE to report it. Jessica Cha has more.
Trickling water and the sounds from her garden is usually what Pamela Oldham hears outside her home at night.
Isn't that great?
Even the planes don't bother her much, except for on Wednesday night, when she says it sounded like a fleet of them flew overhead just before 11.
It was just this big whooshing noise.
She says it lasted 15 minutes, so Oldham got on social media to figure it out.
And when we found out it's gas, that's a hell of a lot of gas.
Gas provider Atmos Energy said in a statement that at 10 p.m., crews responded to an area near County Road 112 for repairs. The utility didn't elaborate on what it was repairing. But neighbors like Oldham, who only live a mile away from the repair, says nobody told them that, which caused panic.
We saw on social media that 2 neighbors, they fled because they didn't know what it was. And he said, hey, we're out of here until we find out what it is.
She says others on social media reported smelling gas. Atmos Energy says crews finished these repairs, but Oldham says no one informed them of that either.
We're citizens here, we're residents, and we matter. And when we're put in danger, and nobody has a straight story to tell us or alerts us, that's a problem.
A spokesperson for Williamson County says Atmos informed them of planned maintenance near Hutto, about 11 miles away from this area. Oldham says the lack of answers is frustrating.
It would have been nice if we could have gone to the social media site and they could have explained what was happening, even if they didn't have all the details, and that didn't happen.
And that was Jessica Cha reporting. We did reach back out to Atmos to clarify the nature of the repair they made Wednesday night. A northwest Travis County community is growing along with its road problems. Unpaved and easily flooded roads have neighbors in the Lago Ranchos area feeling neglected by the county. And now they have until next Friday to let the county know how it can help. Reporter Daniel Gomez has a look at what the neighbors want to see on this road to improvement.
These country roads have taken Tara Jackson home.
I just was super excited to move back to Texas.
However, these Lago Ranchos roads have flattened her excitement.
There's some roads that you definitely have to turn around because if you don't have the right vehicle, you will get stuck.
She says the community feels neglected.
I know that from talking to the neighbors that they said that they've been waiting 20 years.
Travis County is stepping in.
Very excited that they're going to be working on the roads. So,
Why is that?
because it is terrible.
And wants to hear from Jackson and neighbors first.
I don't know where to begin. It's a mess.
The county has a substandard roads improvement plan for the neighborhood that includes paving several streets like Paloma Lane, Pescos Drive, and Dos Amigos Drive, and improving drainage so flooding doesn't become too big of an issue.
I thought they could only get better. At 20 years goes by, they got worse.
Will Jocelyn also made it back to Texas after spending 20 years living elsewhere, but he was surprised to not see much had changed.
In the beginning, I think it was a lack of people, that maybe there's no real incentive for people to come in, or like, maybe the government or whatever, to come in and spruce up the place, make the roads a little bit better.
Neighbors have until March 20 to give the county feedback on the plans to improve this area to bring some relief to these country roads. Daniel Gomez, KVUE News.
And that's what's happening in Austin. I'm Quita Culpepper. We hope you have a great day.